You know, it's pretty wild to think that a single idea, just one simple thought, has the power to completely change your entire reality. Today, we're going to dive into a story that's all about that. It's a journey from rock bottom to incredible success, and it was all sparked by one little shift in perspective.
So let me ask you this. Can one thought really, truly change your life? I mean, it sounds a little too simple, right? Well, let's explore that idea together through a really remarkable story.
All right, let's set the scene. Our story starts at a busy, crowded railway station, and at the center of it is a man whose whole world, his entire existence, was defined by begging. Day in and day out, he'd go through the train cars just asking for enough money to get by. This wasn't just what he did, it was who he was.
And this right here, this is what we'd call a beggar's mindset. He saw himself as someone who could only take. In his mind, he had absolutely nothing of value to offer anyone else. And that one single belief kept him trapped, you know? It completely limited his vision of who he could ever hope to be.
But then one day, everything changes. He spots this sharply dressed man in a suit and thinks, okay, this guy looks rich. He'll definitely give me something. So he walks up to him expecting a handout. But what he got instead, well, it was a challenge that would turn his world upside down. And here's the fundamental difference between the two of them. See, the beggar was coming from a place of scarcity, all about asking, all about taking. The businessman, on the other hand, he lived by a mindset of value, a principle of exchange. For him, it was always about giving and taking.
Whoa, imagine hearing that. Those words hit him like a ton of bricks. The businessman wasn't trying to be mean. He was just stating a basic law of value. And for the very first time, someone had challenged the beggar's deepest belief about himself. The whole idea that he had to give something to get something, it was totally alien to him.
So long after that train pulled away, those words just kept echoing in his mind. The beggar was, well, he was shaken. He started thinking, maybe that's why I'm stuck, because I never give anything back. But then the big question hit him. What on earth could a beggar possibly give?
Now, this wasn't some instant aha moment. For 2 whole days, he just wrestled with that question over and over, coming up with nothing. Then on the 3rd day, he glanced over and saw something he'd probably passed 1,000,000 times without really seeing it. These beautiful flowers growing right there by the station. And that's when a new idea started to bloom. So he decided to try something new. He'd still ask for money, sure, but now, whenever someone gave him something, he'd offer them a few of those beautiful flowers in return. And you know what? People were delighted. They were happily surprised. He wasn't just a taker anymore. He was creating an exchange.
And just look at the results. It was night and day. Almost overnight, his earnings shot way up. So many more people were willing to give him money, all because they were getting this small, unexpected, beautiful thing in return. He was providing value, and people were absolutely responding to it.
A little while later, who does he see on the train again? The very same businessman. But this time, he walks up to him with a totally different energy, with confidence. He asks for money, and then proudly says, "But today, I have something for you in return." And he hands the man some flowers. The businessman just smiled, clearly impressed. And with those simple words, he basically handed our guy the key to his own future. Those words hit him even harder than the first time. A businessman, like me. Just let that sink in for a second. A businessman? Him? He suddenly realized, wait a minute, people aren't just giving me charity anymore. They're paying me for these flowers. They're my customers.
And that was the moment, the big revelation. He wasn't a beggar. He was a small trader, a merchant. That one single thought, that shift in how he saw himself, it changed absolutely everything. He got off that train, looked up at the sky, and just knew his life was never, ever going to be the same.
So, after that day, the man who begged at the station was never seen there again. Now, let's jump forward 6 months. We're on that same train line, and we see 2 well-dressed men having a conversation. One of them, he looks a little familiar.
Just 6 months, that's it. That's all the time it took for a complete and total transformation, and it all started with that one powerful shift in mindset.
One of the men turns to the other and says, "Excuse me, do you recognize me?" Of course, it's our former beggar, but now he's a successful flower merchant traveling for a big business deal. He reintroduces himself to the businessman who, without even knowing it, set him on this incredible path.
thanking him for showing him who he really was.
So, what's the big takeaway from this incredible story? Well, it's a powerful lesson, isn't it? Your circumstances don't define you, your mindset does. The key to his success was never about the money, it was hiding in his thoughts the entire time.
See, that businessman introduced him to a fundamental rule of the universe, the law of exchange, give and take. To get something of value, you have to offer something of value first. And this isn't just about business, it's a principle for life that every successful person in any field understands and uses.
So here's the bottom line, the thing I really want you to hear today. Your success starts in your mind. If you see yourself as small, you're going to stay small. You have to awaken your own self-respect, really see the value you have to offer, and start to think bigger. You are not defined by where you are right now, but by what you believe you can become. Change your thoughts, and I promise you, you will change your life.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question. The beggar found his key to success in a handful of flowers and a new way of thinking. So, where's yours? What value are you ready to offer the world? Really think about that. Because as this story proves, the answer could literally change everything.